Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader and tonight we're going to focus on the Egyptian celebration of the International Museum Day. But we'll be starting straight away with the main top stories for today, and they come through the presidential activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as President al-Sisi called on the international community to shoulder its responsibility towards the reconstruction of Lebanon. In a joint press conference with the visiting Lebanese counterpart, Joseph Aoun, President al-Sisi also stressed the importance of a full and concurrent implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 1701 to ensure the Lebanese state's sole sovereignty over its territories. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report. Stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi asserted on Monday Egypt's continuous and intensive efforts with key regional and international parties to push Israel into an immediate and unconditional withdrawal from the Lebanese territories and to respect a ceasefire agreement. Addressing a press conference with visiting Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, President Sisi also stressed the importance of a full and concurrent implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701 to ensure the Lebanese state's sole sovereignty over its territories. The President further called on the international community to shoulder its responsibilities towards the reconstruction of Lebanon. He also called for respecting Syria's sovereignty and integrity, as well as an Israeli withdrawal from occupied Syrian lands. Over the situation in Gaza, the head of state said his talks with his Lebanese counterpart asserted the imperative need to put an end to the aggression and to resume a ceasefire, a release of all hostages and prisoners, and a humanitarian aid entry into the enclave urgently. Sisi affirmed the call for an international support to a Gaza reconstruction plan without a relocation of its population. Earlier, President Sisi led a reception ceremony for the visiting Lebanese president upon his arrival at the Ittihadiyya Presidential Palace in Cairo, where the national anthems of both countries were played. Then a closed meeting was held between the two presidents, followed by extended talks that tackled boosting bilateral economic cooperation, notably in the fields of infrastructure, energy and reconstruction. The talks also probed on mechanisms for supporting Lebanon's stability, restoring regional stability and security amid grave challenges hitting the entire region.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and we will be heading to another report for the episode for tonight, focusing on the main topic for the Daily Debate for tonight and the celebration of Egypt of the International Museum Day. And the theme for 2025 is the celebration for the International Museum Day in a rapidly changing community globally. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report, so stay tuned. Celebrating the International Museum Day 2025, the future of museums in rapidly changing communities. The International Museum Day is a global event held on the 18th of May each year in coordination with the International Council of Museums, the ICOM, to raise the public awareness of the museum's leading role in community development. This day can last for a day, a weekend or a whole week, depending on how long the museum wishes to celebrate. The event highlights a specific theme that changes each year to reflect a relevant theme or issue facing museums internationally. The International Museum Day provides an opportunity for the museum professionals to meet the public and alert them to the challenges faced by the museums, and to raise the public awareness of the role museums play in community development. The day also encourages the dialogue between museum professionals. The Advisory Committee of the International Council of Museums, the ICOM, determines a specific theme for the occasion. The International Museum Day began to be celebrated in 1977 after the adoption of this day at the meeting of the International Council of Museums in Moscow, and the 18th of May was chosen as the International Museum Day. The aim of the International Museum Day is to raise awareness that museums are an important means of cultural exchange, enrichment of cultures, and the development of understanding, cooperation and peace among the peoples. The celebration of this day on the 18th of May of each year provides an opportunity for specialists to connect with the community associated with each museum. It also aims at further consolidating the aspirations and creative efforts of the museums and to draw the attention of the global audience to their activity. About the history of the International Museum Day, in 1951, before the creation of the International Museum Day, the International Council of Museums, the ICOM, the International Council of Museums, brought together the international museum community to discuss the theme of museums and education. And this gathering was called the Museum Crusade, and the idea of International Museum Day was adopted for the discussion of museum development at this meeting. In 1977, the resolution to establish International Museum Day was officially issued during the General Assembly of the International Council of Somalia in Moscow, Russia, with the aim of further uniting the aspirations and creative efforts of the museums and drawing the attention of the world public to their activities. In 1997, a global identity was created, where the Council launched the first official poster of the event on the theme of combating illicit trade in cultural goods. The poster was adopted by 28 countries. 2011 marks the turning point for this global event, with the institutional partners, a website and the communication toolkit presented for the International Museum Day. ICOM was also a patron of the European Museum Night for the first time that year, an event held on the Saturday closest to May the 18th each year. Events and activities planned for the celebration are organized, and the celebrations can last a day, a weekend or an entire week. Participating museums organize some creative events and activities related to the theme of the International Museum Day, interact with their audiences and highlight the importance of the role of museums as institutions that serve and develop the society.